Two. It now being three o'clock, shortly after 3, we will call the May 19th meeting of the Lacona Police Commission to order. Would you please arise for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let the minutes show that Executive Assistant Lori Marsh is the recording secretary, and we'll do a roll call for the commission. Commissioner Mello?
Here.
Commissioner Davis?
Here.
Commissioner Whittam is here. There were 3 commissioners present, so we do have a quorum. And moving on to personnel matters, Chief Canfield. Hirings.
Nothing to report on hirings.
Commendations and awards.
We had, last week we had Police Week, so we did some pizza lunches for all of the staff, as well as some Police Week T-shirts, which I think was very much appreciated. We're gonna be doing an award ceremony in October to coincide with the National Police Appreciation Week, which they moved the in-person events to October. So we'll do our awards and ceremony in conjunction with that.
Resignations and retirement.
Nothing.
Chief Canfield, nothing. Promotions and classification changes. Chief Canfield.
Nothing.
Command staff report. Support division. Chief Canfield.
So they've been busy at work, wrapping up year-end budget stuff. Our budget looks like it'll come in considerably under budget, as we usually do. They've been wrapping up the radio project. A couple years ago, we got funding to replace our radio system, and I know Osprey Mountain was in dispatch yesterday and today, working on some of the finishing touches to that. So Captain Grayton's been working with the finance department to close that out and hopefully wrap that up soon. All of our cars that we got last year are finally online. Significant delays with COVID and getting parts and equipment to get those cars up and running, but they are finally all done. And that is it for support.
Okay. Any questions? All right, operations division. Chief Canfield.
So they've been working, this is obviously the real busy time of year for operations. They've been working to plan the Wake the Lake event, which is basically a block party up in the Weirs on Lakeside Avenue by Tower Hill Tavern. So that'll take place this weekend, which I'm sure it's going to be busy with the given weather. They've been working on planning for Motorcycle Week, which as time has developed, I'm certainly sure you've been following City Council, but they just agreed to allow beer tents to happen, and so it'll be essentially a normal bike week, albeit I think indications are that it'll be a busier bike week than normal, just because people want to get out and about, but that's certainly weather dependent as well. We're working on 4th of July events. That looks like it'll be a normal 4th of July event as well, with the parade and the activities at Opeechee with fireworks. The scheduling software that they've been working on to do electronic scheduling versus just using an Excel spreadsheet. Everyone's received training, and that has been implemented, as well as the dispatch Pro QA software that I've talked about before. So that is now operational as well. And that's it for operations.
All right. Hearing no questions, we'll move on to commission action. Acceptance of the minutes from the previous meeting. Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion to accept the last meeting's minutes.
Second?
Second.
Motion, on the motion made, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
On the motion made by Commissioner Mello and seconded by Commissioner Davis, it passes unanimously. The meeting minutes of April 21st are accepted as distributed. out-of-state schools, the FBI Academy Associates Annual Training Conference.
So this is an association that I belong to as a graduate of the FBI National Academy. This is a national conference that I've attended many times in the past. Certainly one of the biggest things about the FBI National Academy, aside from the training part of it and the leadership training, is the networking and ongoing training venues such as this. So they'll be doing the New England FBI National Academy is being held in Meredith this year, so that's close in June. And then this particular conference is in Orlando, Florida. So requesting permission to attend that.
Any questions at all?
No question.
Do you have a motion?
Make a motion that we accept this, to send the
Second.
chief to the FBI Academy.
I'll second that.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, on a motion made by Commissioner Mello. It was seconded by Commissioner Davis, passes unanimously. The above-listed school is approved. Frank, you need a signature, chief?
Yes, sir.
Or you got the, oh, we have one here, so
Oh, okay.
Frank's got it. Review of monthly activity reports. Department monthly highlights. Chief Canfield.
So for the month of April, we responded a total of 2,464 calls for service, up very significantly from last year. About 38% is what it's up. We responded to a total of we investigated a total of 280 criminal offenses, cleared 183 of those by arrest. 101 of those were by physical custody arrest. And we took 22 people into protective custody for intoxication. Responded to 23 domestic disturbance calls. Went to 104 total disturbance calls. 7 suicidal subjects, 1 attempted suicide, and investigated 13 violations of restraining order. So certainly the numbers are up significantly compared to last year. Those numbers are skewed a little bit because last year was, we had COVID at this time. So I think that kind of brought numbers down. But on top of that, I think we're even trending normally. I think these numbers are more significant than they have been in the last several years. So certainly it's something I'm keeping an eye on and watching the trend as those numbers kind of rise, not only in Laconia, but they seem to be rising across the state and country, so.
Any particular area that's more than the other? I mean, the call for service?
Yeah, I mean, we just, it's been super busy. I can tell you, that the serious crimes we responded to as of recently, we had one weekend, a couple weekends ago, it was just amazing the number of serious crimes in one weekend. So I don't know what it's attributed to, but certainly keeping an eye on it.
As long as we don't have everything like they had in Franklin the other night.
Serious stuff.
Okay, criminal investigative. Unit statistics, chief.
So they've been busy as well. During the month of April, they took on 17 new initial cases, conducted 13 follow-up cases, made 1 felony arrest, initiated 3 felony charges, made 6 misdemeanor arrests, originated 1 misdemeanor charge, conducted 21 different search warrants, cleared 1 case exceptionally, did 17 sex offender registrations, 11 drug intel sheets, and they conducted a total of 56 training hours. That was probably mostly for instructor time. And then conducted 57 different body-worn camera redactions.
Is that new cases, sex offender registration, is that new people moving into the area?
It can be. It can be new people moving in, or it can be, a lot of them are required to register quarterly, depending on the tier that they're at. So
See, yeah.
it's a combination of both.
What's gonna happen with the offenders that are up at the, housed up at the jail?
I don't know, That's a good question,
Where are they gonna go? I
because they're
mean,
eliminating them, so I don't know what their plan is. I don't think they have another facility like that in the state, so I have no idea.
Okay, moving on to budget printouts.
Nothing unless you have any questions. We're certainly under budget at this point, and Captain Graydon is collating final numbers, but I'm confident that we'll make our budget.
Okay, monthly traffic statistics.
So for the month of April, we issued a total of 65 parking tickets, investigated 27 motor vehicle accidents, 3 of which were with injury. So that was good to see that the injury accidents were down a bit. Number one cause for motor vehicle accidents was failure to yield the right-of-way, which contributed to 6 of those crashes, followed by unsafe backing, which accounted for 4 of those crashes. Number one location for accidents was again Union Avenue, not surprisingly, followed by Parade Road, South Main Street, and Court Street.
They have a lot of accidents right down here on the Union and Union Avenue and South Main Street and stuff. Like this morning, I was coming from the IGA, and this car went, make a right turn, the red light was on, and he was moving right along, just right in the corner. I said, oh my God, I says, no wonder there's so many accidents.
Yeah, we have some highway safety grant funds that we'll be using to really target that stuff heavily this spring and summer, particularly crosswalk violations, the right turn on red when someone's in a crosswalk, and then cell phone use.
Good.
In addition, if you remember last year, we got that additional position for a traffic unit, so we've been hammering traffic just in generally pretty heavily, so. But
When the, just a question about that, when the light flashes red, orange, after it's been red, and somebody's on the crosswalk and they, on the other side, but then it still flashes the orange, can you turn right on that, or?
once it starts flashing, it doesn't, it turns from white to orange.
Yeah,
It's flashing. If there's nobody in the crosswalk, you can.
you can, okay.
If there's somebody in the crosswalk, you can't. Which is a confusing law. I think that confuses some people too, so.
I've been beeped at a few times, but
Yeah.
I usually wait, so,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
anyway,
know
so-
in Chicago, that as soon as that light comes on, traffic stops until that thing stops flashing. And if a pedestrian goes into that thing after it stops flashing, you're jaywalking right off the bat. I mean, they're strict on it out there, very strict.
Monthly fleet report, Chief Canfield.
Nothing unless there's any questions on it. The fleet is in good shape.
I saw the new pickup, new pickup.
Yes,
Looks nice, black and
Yeah.
white, looks nice.
it does. It looks pretty sharp.
Yeah. That'll be used for towing the signs and stuff around, won't it?
Towing the signs, and certainly, when we do the range stuff, we can load stuff in the back for the
Right.
firearms range, and, the new cars are so small now, you can't put large pieces of evidence in the back of it, so the truck is open, so it'll be a lot easier to transport that kind of stuff.
I think that was a good purchase.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really use, we have one transport van now.
Yeah.
We didn't need the other transport van, so it's kind of silly to replace that with another transport van that we're not gonna use.
Yeah.
So this is a lot more versatile.
Correspondence to and from the department, Chief Canfield.
We had a nice thank you note dropped to us for a thank you for assistance at a fire that happened on Union Avenue.
And moving on to Chief's report, Chief Canfield.
So overdose stats for the month, or I'm sorry, year-to-date, we've had a total of 23 overdoses, which is down very significantly from last year where we were at 78 year-to-date at this point. It hasn't been reflected. We had an overdose death the other night. So we do have one overdose death year to date at this point, but at this point last year, we had a total of 4. So certainly the deaths as a result of heroin or fentanyl are trending in the right direction. That being said, we're seeing a lot more meth use, which we don't see the deaths from, but we certainly see more violent crime. Eric Adams has been working with the Department of Justice to finalize the grant that they applied for last year and that they didn't get, but the Attorney General's office has a desire to take Eric's program and bring it statewide, which would allow for funding not only for Eric's position to basically allow him to be a statewide coordinator of that program and teach other departments. It would also backfill his position for us as well. So certainly that's a big thing. I think we fare better for it this year than we did last year, so hopefully that works out well, because that position is just invaluable in the work that Eric's been doing. So speaking of that, he will be at the next commission meeting to speak about some of the projects he's been working on, but he works really hard and has certainly taken on tasks way beyond what that position started as, so good stuff there. We're also in the process of applying for a COPS grant in collaboration with the school system. I had a meeting this morning to talk about that, but it would enhance school safety, school security, and some police training for us to be able to respond to an active shooter event should something like that occur. So that's 100% funded by the COPS office, so if we get that, it would be beneficial to the city of Laconia. And then lastly, I just want to highlight the work that our employees do every single day to make things happen. Last week, Captain Graydon and Gary Hubbard, Lieutenant Hubbard, recognized the need to paint the lobby because it hasn't been painted since we moved into that building. It was pretty dirty looking and stuff, and they took the whole week and they painted that whole lobby. They got a lift, and it looks really good, and they put a sign up there now. So that stuff wouldn't be possible if we hired somebody to do it, So just the dedication that our employees are willing to do to make things happen. So good work there. That's all I have.
Okay, old business,
Nothing?
new business,
Nothing?
other business,
Nothing?
citizens' comments.
I do have one thing. Councilor Cheney reached out to me, apologized for not making it here. He said he realized he missed a couple. He's had some conflicts with his schedule, but asked if the commission had anything to pass on to him. That I'm actually meeting him for breakfast tomorrow morning, so if you have anything, I'd be willing to bring it, and he assures me he's going to be here at the next one. So.
Confirmation of the next meeting date, June 16th. Any conflicts with anybody?
No, should be good.
16th.
What's the date of Father's Day next year?
This year?
Of this year, yeah.
20th.
So that's the middle of bike week. Do you want to do that, or is there anything pressing on that day?
No, I mean, it's fine with me.
Okay. Just want to make sure you knew what was.
Yeah, it's the Wednesday, so I'm okay with that.
Okay, June 16th it is then. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion, we adjourn?
I will second that.
The motion made by Commissioner Mello, it was seconded by Commissioner Davis. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passes unanimously at 3:21 p.m.